Hi guys, so today we're going to tie a suspender yellow owl. In the vise we have a wet size 14 hook and we are going to put down a bed of light cahill thread to start. I like to use 4mm foam and I also, because I'm tight, I like to use both ends. So I cut it in half and I like to round one end so that it doesn't look as bulky on the front. Now you can have this as long and as short as you like. I like mine to sit around there. Now just take 5 or 6 turns just to make sure that that foam is locked in there. Then I'll come in, stretch the foam and snip. Lay down a little bit more thread just to catch the loose foam in. Now this is where your thorax will be. So you want to build this up a little bit, keep it nice and neat, but it will be hidden by your dubbin, so don't panic if you can't get it to sit perfect the first few attempts. And then touch and turns. Down to when you're just about in line with where the barb would be. At this point you want to get your black thread, or if you wish to use a Sharpie, and catch that in. Now I've pre-waxed my thread, so you may want to wax it to stop your black thread from slipping. And then you just want to do touch and turns right down to before the hook starts to bend away. And snip your excess on the black. Then touch and turns with your cahill. Back up towards your thorax. Now some people would leave it like that, but I like to come back down for a third turn, but only halfway down. Stopping around there, just in point of the hook. Then come back up. To the thorax. Now that gives you a small taper to your body. At this point, I just come round and whip the cahill off. Then we'll go back. Now I am using power thread here. I normally use Simplify Nano Silk, which are both very fine materials. So I like to give it a little twist, because sometimes I feel when I use it as a rib, it tends to want to separate. So I like to give it a little twist just to make sure that it's going to lie nice and flat on my hook. And put your rib in. Then you can use your black to hide your cahill thread to darken down the thorax there. Now as you can see, I've built it to where I want my thorax to be. Now at this point, you either want to, depending on the dubbing you're using, wax your thread, or if it's a natural product like I'm using here, I've got some natural hair and UV mix that I've actually mixed myself. And because the hair's a natural product, it has natural oil in it, so I don't really need to go daft with wax. But if you want to use it, it's not going to do any harm at all. So get that dubbed on when you're quite happy with it. Wrap it round, touch and turns, building it up to where you're quite happy. Now I like to really pull it tight there to get that foam line forward, and then catch in. Stroke everything back to keep a nice clean hook eye. And get a little bit of varnish on there. Whip that off. Now at this point, I really like to scratch my dubbing out to give it as buggy an effect as possible. Stroking everything back and just tidy up anything you're not happy with. And there you have it, guys. A size 14 yellow owl suspender buzzer, and I find this pattern is very effective when the fish are feeding just in the subsurface, when they're not taking off the top but you see them fin tailing on the top. This pattern, fish static, has caught me a lot of fish. Simple pattern, nothing new. Get tying it, guys. Tight lines.